Shalom, shalom, brothers and sisters. Yahuah is amazing, isn't he? I don't want to make this a long, drawn-out introduction. Just want to get right into the word that the Ruach spoke to me to share with this people. And I'm coming from Shemot, or Exodus, chapter 15. But before I, get into the scripture, let's, backtrack for a moment. So in Shemot 14, we know that Yasharel was delivered from Pharaoh and the Egyptians, and they had came through the Red Sea on dry ground. They saw the power of Yahuah really show up before them, and they saw their enemies literally be flooded out, and they saw how Yahuah came before them and literally just showed up and showed out. And so when we get to the beginning of chapter 15, you see that everyone began to praise Yahuah. They began to sing, they began to dance, they began to glorify him. They sang this beautiful song, and they were just glorifying what Yahuah had done for them, how he had delivered them from their enemies, and how Yahuah had showed his glorious power, how Yahuah had showed his mighty right hand, how he dashed in pieces the enemy, how he cast Pharaoh's chariots into the sea, how Yahuah has made a habitation for them. They were saying all these marvelous things, saying how Yahuah has triumphed. The women danced and sang, and they were just so overjoyed. They were so happy. Finally, they were delivered. Finally, they came through the Red Sea. They walked on dry ground, right? And Miriam, the prophetess and the sister of Aharon, she took the timbrel in her hand. This is verse 20. And all the women went out after her with timbrels and with dances, and they began to sing to Yahuah. So, they were just, oh my goodness. They were having such a hallelujah time. But something happened right after they were delivered. And so I'm going to go to verse 22, Shemot 15, verse 22. It says, so Moshe brought Yasharel from the Red Sea, and they went out into the wilderness of Shur, and they went 3 days in the wilderness and found no water. And when they came to Marah, they could not drink of the waters of Marah, for they were bitter. Therefore, the name of it was called Marah. Now listen to this. It almost seemed like Yahuah isn't fair. It almost seemed like he's not right. But he has a purpose for everything that he does. He's so amazing. We can't even comprehend his ways, his plans, and his thoughts. That's why he says they are higher. We tend to sometimes put Yahuah in a box and not realize how powerful he is and why he do the things that he do. We can't explain it, but we know there's a purpose behind everything. Yahuah does not do anything unless he has a reason on why he's doing it, and we finna get right into that. It's in verse 24. It said, the people murmur against Moshe, saying, what shall we drink? Now look at that. Now Yahuah just delivered them. They got to Marah, the waters were bitter, and instead of praying and seeing what Yahuah was attempting to do, see what point Yahuah was trying to prove, they started murmuring. Now, verses before that, they were just praising Yahuah, and then all of a sudden they start murmuring. And see, we as humans, sometimes we do that. Yahuah just done this marvelous thing for us, but yet it seemed like right after we got that marvelous blessing or that wonderful supernatural breakthrough, it seemed like we're at another dead end. And we're like, wait a minute. Hold up, Yahuah. What are you doing here? You delivered me from this, but you brought me to this. Let me give you an example. Because the Ruach just rebuked me literally last night about it. And I had to repent about it. So my family, me and my wife, our 5 children, we had been homeless for 3 years. We've been living in hotels. We've been living at family members' homes. We even twice slept in our vehicle, slept on the street. Yeah, it was bitter. It was grueling. It was embarrassing. It was humiliating. I mean, we sleeping in our truck with all 5 of our children. We slept in the shelter for a few days. I know what it's like to, you know, to not have a place to bathe. And we went at one point 4 days without having a bath. And just recently, literally February 1st, we just got a home. We had just got a home. But a few days before that, I lost my job. Oh man. I have 2 jobs. I mean, because in this society, I mean, you gotta work. And so I still have my second job, and I'm still grateful for that. So there is still some income, but I lost my main source of income a few days before we moved into our home. And man, when I tell you, I was heated. I mean, I was furious. I was angry, and I murmured too. And you know, I love my wife. You know, she's so patient, and she's so gentle. And she was literally just kept telling me, you need to thank Yahuah, because look what was going on at that job. You were working like crazy. You was working like a dog. You was working all day and sometimes all night. And the business I was working at, I was a manager there, and I had to be there at 7, and we closed at 9. There were days I worked from 7 till 9 o'clock, 9:30 at night. There were days I worked from 7 to 7. I mean, there were times I came in on my day off because we're short staffed, or I had to, stay in later. There were times where, my wife was thinking, hey, I thought you were going to be out. And I'm like, yeah, well, I had to work later, such and such, I had to do this, such and such got sick, blah, blah, blah. And the job was literally starting to take a hold of me. It was literally like messing with my mental health, physical health. I wasn't seeing my family much. So yeah. And I remember praying a prayer on Sunday. I was just so tired. I'm supposed to be off, and yet I'm still texting the other manager, still texting the owner of the business about things. I can't even enjoy just being at the park with my children. Can't even effectively have a day off. And I remember praying. I said, Yahuah, please, I can't do this anymore. I ask that you just deliver me from this place. And I was like, but please, help me, find something else so that I can walk away from it. I like, Yahuah, just please deliver me. I can't do this. And shortly after that prayer, I get a phone call, and they're like, we're just gonna let you go. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I'm trying to explain it. I'm like, man, I'm about to get a home, and this and that. But they was like, yeah, we're just letting you go. So, man, I was angry, because I'm like, Yahuah, that's not how I wanted it to do. That's not how I want to do it. I wanted to do it, in my way. I wanted to find something else first and then leave. But nope, it didn't happen like that. And we can't explain why Yahuah did it like that, but he has a purpose behind everything. And so, just like Yasharel, I murmured. But listen to this. In verse 25, it said, and he cried unto El Yahuah, and Yahuah showed him a tree which he had cast into the rivers. The waters were made sweet. There he made for them a statute in the ordinance, and there he proved them. Now listen to that. While they were complaining, Yahuah was already giving Moshe the solution to the problem. Literally showed them a tree so the waters can be sweet so they can drink. You see that? See, even Yahuah, he's so patient with us. Because we tend to do that when things don't go our way. We go straight to murmuring against him, instead of understanding why he didn't allow it to go the way we thought it should go. He was already working on a solution. He was already showing Moshe the answer. But sometimes we be so deep in our murmuring and complaining that we can't even see that Yahuah is already working it out. And so before I even go even deeper, you know, if that's been you, if you've been murmuring and complaining, stop it. Because you can mess up what Yahuah wants to do for you. You can get in his way. You could cause his wrath to come upon you. Because when he rebuked me yesterday, I literally was scared to the core of my knees quivered the way he rebuked me for the murmuring. And I'm just like, oh, I'm so sorry. I mean, the rock literally told me, Yahuah said, come near to me. And he literally said, I've heard your murmuring, come near to me. And I had that feeling, you know, like when you're a kid and you do something and or it's your parent tell you to do something and you don't want to do it, or you ask your parent a question and they tell you no, you don't get the results you wanted, so you walk away murmuring, you say something under your breath, and your mom and daddy be like, what you say? Come here. And you can hear the clinking of that belt because you know you about to get it. Well, that's what I felt yesterday when Yahuah gave me that rebuke. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm about to get it. And my wife, she was scared for me. And all I can do is just say, Yahuah, have mercy on me for my murmuring. Please forgive me. And yeah, so right there in verse 25, the answer was right there. And he said he proved them. See, this is the whole thing that Yahuah wants. To prove, to show to us how powerful he is. To prove to him that he is our source. He is our way maker. He is our provider. He is everything. No job, no business. No, it don't matter how much money you got. It don't matter what you got saved. It don't matter how much cryptocurrency, how much gold and silver you got. At the end of the day, Yahuah is the one. He is the main source. Yes, he give us resources, but if you don't trust in him, it don't matter what you got. Right? So he does things to prove to us who he is. He does things to prove to us, just like he did right there. He proved him. And then he makes a statute in the ordinance. So in verse 26 it said, and said, if you will diligently hearken to the voice of Yahuah Rophe'ka, and will do which is right in his sight, and will give ear to his commandments and guard all his statutes, I will put none of these diseases upon you, which I have brought upon Mitzrayim, for I am Yahuah Rophe'ka. And that's the title of this video, Yahuah Rophe'ka, which means Yahuah that heals, or Yahuah who heals. You see, you might have been going through some pain, some afflictions, and you might have murmured and complained, but right here, Yahuah wants to turn every bitter situation for you sweet. And all you got to do is hearken diligently, obey his commandments. Whether you want to believe it or not, but we are still commanded to obey the Torah. We are still to keep the Sabbath. We are still to keep the feast days. We still should not be eating pork and all those other unclean foods. That hasn't changed. Yahuah hasn't changed from that. Yahusha, when he stepped on the scene, he obeyed the Father. Every word. Yahuah doesn't change. What he says here, it goes. That's his word. He doesn't change for no one. And so he's saying, do right in his sight. Guard his commandments. Keep them near to you. Don't let the things of this world take you away from his word, from his commands, from obeying him, from doing what is pleasing in his sight. And when I read this yesterday, he said, I will not put none of these diseases upon you, which I have brought upon Mitzrayim. If you think about what's even going on in the world right now, all these pestilences and plagues and sicknesses that's about to happen in this earth as a form of judgment from Yahuah, he's saying that ain't gonna touch you. What he's about to do, just like he did in Egypt, what he's about to do right now in this, we can say this spiritual Egypt, what he's about to do in the earth, what he's about to do in the world, the diseases. We thought COVID was bad. Well, there's nothing compared with what Yahuah is about to release next. But he's saying that's not going to touch you as long as you obey him. You stop the murmuring and complaining, and you really see, and you really just sit back and watch Yahuah work and see how he's going to turn every bitter thing sweet for you. And see how, you know, you was once broken, but now he's going to heal you because he is Yahuah Rophe'ka, and that's what he wants to be for you right now in this season, a healer. People might have hurt you, family members might have hurt you. You might have been in a situation that you thought was just so discouraging that you wanted to give up, but he said nope, he's going to heal. In verse 27, and they came to Elim, where were 12 wells of water and 70 palm trees, and they encamped there by the waters. So look at that. All the water that they needed. All the palm trees, the shade that they needed. You see? Look at that. Yahuah proved to them. And he didn't even have to prove to them, but because he loves us so much, he don't have to prove nothing to us. He's Yahuah. He the creator. The maker of everything, the one who established everything, who spoke it into existence. He's the only one that can do that. He don't have to prove nothing to us, but because he loves us so much, and because how he cherished us, we are the apple of his eye. We are Yahuah, his chosen people. Just do right, give ear, obey him. So, we're not back to the situation. You know, how I lost my main source of income, still was able to move to the home because we had already got approved beforehand. And what I got is, man, this situation is still sweet, because sometimes Yahuah will put you in a place where you have to trust him. And that's where I'm at right now with what's happening in my life. I trust him. No more murmuring, complaining, because I don't want to get that rebuke again that I got yesterday. And you don't want to be in a position where he rebukes you harshly for murmuring, complaining, because he does not take kind. He does not wink at that, because it turns into unbelief and you're hardening your heart. So be thankful for where Yahuah got you. Understand that he is the answer. It may seem bitter, but he's going to turn it sweet. He is Yahuah Rophe'ka. He is Yahuah that heals. Just obey him and trust him. He'll see you through. That's all I got. That's all I got. Y'all be blessed, Yahuah. I pray that this word was a blessing to you. You know, go back and study it and read it for yourself. And don't just take this video, this word that I'm saying. Go back and pray, and you seek the Ruach for guidance, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right? Till we meet again, y'all take care.